How can Ansible help very large organizations scale across the globe? So, the Ansible automation platform features a component called the automation mesh. And what that effectively is a layer 7 overlay that does job scheduling, and it routes jobs to the appropriate location. And the leaf nodes of the automation mesh are called execution nodes. And that is where the automation actually runs. So in your automation controller, you would actually run jobs. You'd run automation jobs. And then that would schedule them onto the automation mesh. They would route to the appropriate execution node. And that execution node has direct line of sight to the devices or technologies or infrastructure components they're automating. And what's interesting about that is you can define what you call instance groups. You can have an instance group, which is a set of execution nodes that would be in each data center or each cloud region, or however you logically want to divide up your infrastructure across a large geographic spanning domain. And when you run a job, that job will route accordingly to the right execution node for those instances that it needs to actually go automate. And this allows you to have a kind of centralized control plane that can then automate across the planet if you so choose, in a way that keeps the last mile very close in locality to the thing it's actually automating, and then keeps you with a good central point of control and audit and logging and all those various things that are very important to large organizations. Many large businesses that either use multiple cloud regions or use multiple data centers, the reason this is impactful is kind of multi-phased. One is you have that central point of logging and auditing and point of control, point of role-based access control for your users, and those kind of things. The second one is this gives you the ability to scale work in ways that you wouldn't have been able to otherwise or before. So if you just run like the Ansible playbook command from the command line, you can scale for as many forks of processes and how much RAM that system has. And that's fine for a relatively small number of hosts, but large organizations don't have a small number of hosts. They have a lot of them. So we need to actually realistically be able to scale that to many different places and divide up that work across these various execution nodes. And when you schedule that work, not only are you effectively fanning out the responsibility of carrying out that run of the automation to various execution nodes to scale horizontally, but you're also getting the ability to ensure that you're not incurring extra network latency by having the automation run from somewhere that's not geographically close or logically close based on your network topology to the thing it's trying to automate. What are things that people need to consider when using Red Hat Ansible automation platform to scale globally? I think the biggest one is the latency between their controller and their database. Many times people try to scale out a lot of different pieces and then they move their database too far from their control plane, and the latency of that is high and becomes the slowest link in the chain, and that's problematic. Another piece of it is just logically how their network segments need to work and how to set it up, because um, the automation mesh actually has the ability to do traffic shaping, so unidirectional or bidirectional. So for people who are working in the Purdue model or other type of semi de facto standard or regulated type of network segmentation strategies, we have the ability to actually do the traffic shaping such that we comply with those. And those are considerations that are going to be very dependent on the specific use case, the specific customer, their environment. But those are considerations when you're thinking of how to deploy and how to roll this out and how to kind of build it to accomplish what's needed to be accomplished by the business.